to my channel. I'm Sarah and this is Brown Family Goods. Today I'm sharing 2 easy party appetizer recipes that are guaranteed to impress your guest. These dishes are perfect for any gathering, whether it's a casual get-together or a more formal event. The best part? These recipes require minimal ingredients and are incredibly easy to make. So even if you're not the most experienced cook, you can whip these up in no time. We'll be making Meltaway citrus cakes and spicy sausage balls with Creole Dipping Sauce. Both are delicious and sure to be a hit with your friends and your family. So grab your ingredients, let's get cooking, and let's make some easy party appetizers. Let's get started on our easy party appetizers. Now, this party was actually just going to be a party of the 4 of us, myself, my husband, and our 2 boys coming over for Christmas to open up some presents and hang out together for a while. So I didn't have to get too crazy because I know that they will like anything that I make. I'm starting out with the citrus cakes, and these turned out so good. They truly do melt in your mouth, especially once you put that glaze on. They are so tasty and tender. I'm going to use a piping bag to fill up the mini muffin pan. I think that's the easiest way. Typically, I would use a Ziploc bag. You can definitely use a Ziploc bag, but I found in my drawer that all of my Ziploc bags have that gusseted bottom, so that makes it really, really difficult to use it as a makeshift piping bag. And you just want to use the juice of an orange and a lemon to make the glaze for these. So you can choose to go 2 ways with the glaze. I found on the first batch that I wanted to follow the recipe that I was going off of and sort of dip them in and coat them entirely with that glaze. And then on the second batch, I was not feeling as energetic for that, and I decided that I was just going to drizzle over the top of them, and both looked so cute. So I think you can totally decide what you want to do for yourself. If you want to dip them in like I did, I would say to thin down that icing a little bit more. So if you've got more orange juice, add it, and if you don't have more orange and lemon juice, then just thin it down with a little bit more water until you get it to a easier consistency to dunk those into and then pull them out, because they weren't all that easy to work with. Into the glaze just goes that orange and lemon juice. And then I added a little bit of my homemade vanilla extract, and then I added a pinch of salt as well. I did end up using a little bit of water, probably about a tablespoon for me. But as I said, if you want them to be easier to dunk in and out of the glaze, go ahead and thin it down a little bit more than what I did. This silicone pan was so nice to work with. I have a metal mini muffin pan, and I really do not like to use it. Everything sticks in it. I ended up buying this silicone pan just for this, and I will not look back because they baked up beautifully and they came out so easily. I did spray the pan before I used it, but I don't even know that you would have to. They came out really, really well. In the past, I have not enjoyed working with a silicone pan because they were not rigid at all. And this pan is nice because it's completely rigid on the exterior edges where you can pick it up easily, but the baking cups pop out really nicely. As you glaze these, you'll want to put on those almonds so that they stick to the glaze. Go ahead and use a wire cooling rack with a pan underneath it to set those citrus cakes on after you glaze them up. Now I'm moving on to my second round of mini muffins, and this one I was a little bit messier with. So I just went ahead and made my mess on the pan, and then I just went back through and cleaned it up after I was done. So before you put it into the oven, just go through and wipe down those bits that are on the top, and that way they don't burn in the oven or anything. This silicone pan, again, was so easy to clean and work with that, like I said, I just went back through, wiped up that bit before I baked it, and had no trouble at all. This recipe makes a ton of little mini muffins, so it should feed plenty. I grabbed another piping bag for the glaze that I had left over for the second round of mini muffins. I hope you all had a great holiday. If you're still celebrating the holidays, I hope it is going wonderful. And pretty soon we'll be here into 2025, won't we? The new year is coming up so quickly, but we're kind of at that time of year where, what day is it? Who knows? Everybody's off of work. It's kind of one day runs into the next. So it becomes difficult to get your bearings this time of year, it seems like. And you see on these, I'm just drizzling the top. I'm going to go in one direction, and then I'll go back in and put the almonds on so that they stick. And then lastly, I'll go back and put the glaze on in another direction so that they have plenty of that glaze on them. As long as you work with these while they're nice and warm, that glaze kind of soaks into them and it makes them so delicious. In my opinion, these are best served on the day that you make them. So I would not say to make them the day before you're having a party or anything. I think make them on the day that you're going to have them. Make maybe in the morning, and if you're having the party in the evening, because they're delicious on the first day. Store them in the refrigerator for the next day, but you will find that they get a little bit wet. So they still taste great, but they just don't look as beautiful on the second day. Now we move on to the spicy sausage balls with a Creole dipping sauce. You guys, I know everybody has made sausage balls before in their life. This one is just has a little bit of a different twist on it with that dipping sauce, and that really makes it. So on this occasion, I'm making half a batch of these. That's what you're going to see me making in this video, but I'm posting the recipe for the full batch. That way you can make the full batch. I just didn't need that many on this particular afternoon. I like to make my sausage balls in my stand mixer. I do not like getting my hands into there and mixing them up that way. And also it's very hard to mix them up with a spoon or a fork or anything like that. So I think they come out really great in the stand mixer, and I highly recommend you using that. I don't know about a hand mixer. That's probably going to sling the mixture everywhere, but the stand mixer works really well for this. So into the stand mixer goes the sausage, some cheese, and then I'm using a packaged biscuit mix here. You can use a baking mix as well, like a Bisquick. That's typically what I would use, but I had this little biscuit mix on hand and it is just right for this. Additionally, you'll need a little bit of milk and then a little bit of Creole seasoning as well. That just takes the flavor up just a little bit. Mix it up in the stand mixer. It takes no time at all to come together. And then I'm using my medium-sized cookie scoop. I want to make sure that they're nice and flat in there though. I don't want them to be too big. These are a little bit bigger than normal, but I actually really liked the size because you just needed to eat like one or two, and also you didn't have to roll out a bunch of sausage balls in your hands. So I do scoop them out first with the cookie scoop. You could use the smaller size if you prefer. You just want to take the baking time down a little bit if you use a smaller size scoop. I scoop them all out first, and then I'm going to go back through and roll them into balls with my hands. When you're baking up the sausage balls, I don't find that I need any spray or anything on the pan, because these have so much oil from the sausage and from the cheese. They don't tend to stick at all. Sausage balls are always a family favorite, especially at the holidays. We try to have them every single year. Here they are, just fresh out of the oven, and I like to let mine get nice and crispy and brown because that cheese tastes so good when it's nice and crispy on the bottom. And then I just move them over onto a paper towel lined plate, let them cool there for a few minutes while I'm making up the Creole dipping sauce. It is so simple. This is basically pantry ingredients that you will always have on hand most likely, along with a little bit of fresh parsley to make it look really, really festive. Some mayonnaise, some Dijon mustard, some more of that Creole seasoning, a little lemon juice as well, and then plenty of parsley is going in here. If you have fresh garlic, you can grate a clove of it. I'm going to taste this and see how it is to make sure I don't need to make any adjustments to it. I really have to ponder on it for a minute, like what is different, what do I need? And I realized that I need to add a little bit more mayonnaise because it was a really kind of mustard heavy for me, and then it's just perfect. Sausage balls can be served either hot or cold. They don't have to be piping hot straight out of the oven. It's nice if you can bake them up fresh before your event, but they don't have to stay piping hot the whole time. They still taste great otherwise. And it looks really, really yummy. Everybody will love to have these. Thank you so much for joining me today to make these easy party appetizers. I hope that you will enjoy these. They are simple recipes with minimal ingredients, and I hope you have enjoyed them. So, see you back here again real soon.